In this course, I'll be using VirtualBox to make a virtual machine that runs Fedora Workstation. You can get the files for those from virtualbox.org and getfedora.org, or you can use any Linux distribution you prefer. Let's take a look at the process of setting up a virtual machine. Here's the VirtualBox website, and I can click on the big blue button to download the current version. There's a few different options for platform. Since I'm running a Mac, I clicked on the OS X hosts option here, but if you're running Windows or Linux, you can download those versions as well. Take a minute to download these and install the software on your computer. Then head over to getfedora.org and download the Fedora ISO image. I'm using Workstation, so click on Workstation and then choose Download Now. Click on the green download button to start the download. This is a pretty big file, so I've already done this, but you'll want to take a few minutes to download it. You'll need the file to be completely downloaded before you continue. Once you've installed VirtualBox, open it up and you'll see the Manager window. Let's build a virtual machine. I'll click on New and give my machine a name. I'll call it Fedora 23 since that's the version I'm using. Make sure the type is set to Linux and the version is set to Fedora. And click Continue. VirtualBox recommends 768 megabytes of RAM. I'm going to change that to 1024 megabytes. That's 1 gigabyte. Then I'll click Continue. I'll leave Create a Virtual Hard Disk Now selected and click Create, and I'll keep VDI selected. I'll click Continue, and I'll click Continue again to choose a dynamically allocated disk. VirtualBox recommends 8 gigabytes, but I'll change that to 20. This space isn't being taken up yet, so it doesn't really matter, but I'd like to give myself a little bit of breathing room. I'll click Create. Then I'll go to Settings and choose Storage. I need to attach the ISO image that I downloaded from the Fedora site. So I'll click on the empty virtual disk on the IDE controller. I'll click on the disk image and browse to where I downloaded my ISO image. There it is, and I'll choose Open. Then I'll click OK and start the virtual machine. I'll click in the window and press Enter to start Fedora Live. If you need to get the mouse out of the window, you can hit the Host key. That's displayed in the bottom right of the window here. On the Mac, it's the left Command key, and on Windows, it's the right Control key. This boot up process can take a few minutes, depending on the speed of your processor and your hard drive. But once it comes up, click Install to Hard Drive. I'll make my language selections and scroll down a little bit here. Then I'll click Continue. I'll set the date and time. I'm near Los Angeles, so I'll choose that time zone. On these installers, sometimes you'll have to scroll around a little bit to find the Done button. Great. Now the only thing I need to do is to verify the hard drive setup by clicking on Installation Destination. That looks good. And I'll click Done. Great. We're good to go. I'll scroll back down and choose Begin Installation. For my system, I'll set a root password. Scroll back up and choose Done. Since I chose a weak password, I had to press Done twice. And I'll create a user. This is the user I'll use to log into the system. I'm going to choose Make this user administrator, and I'll set a password for this user as well. Again, I had to press Done twice because I chose a weak password. We're not too concerned with security in this virtual machine because we're only using it to learn at the command line. All right, the installation process is finished, so I'll scroll down. I'll click Quit. I'll scroll up. And in the top bar, I'll click the menu, I'll choose the power option, and I'll choose Power Off. Then I'll go into the settings, choose Storage, click the CD icon, and say Remove Disk from Virtual Drive. That'll remove the ISO image from our machine, so it won't start up from the installer again. And then I'll choose the machine and click Start. I'll press Enter on the first option. Once the machine starts, I'll click my name and type in my password. I'll click through the GNOME initial setup and click to start using Fedora.